Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. Today we're doing a little sit down chit chat and we're getting a little closer than normal just to have a conversation about 5 healthy habits that changed my life. Now, some of you may have seen videos like this in the past. I know I have, and I think these videos are really great for people to use as like a kickstart or a baseline when they want to change their life and start making healthier habits. So I'm just going to get into 5 things that I incorporated years ago that have helped me up until this point and I still think are really important. I'm gonna jump right in with number 1, and number 1 is go to bed early. So years ago, back when I was in college, there was a point where I was going to bed at 3 a.m. every single day. Every single weekday at that. So on the weekends, I was probably staying up a little later, but 3 a.m. every single day. And I would wake up around 7 for class, and that was just the norm. And I wasn't doing anything super important. It was usually just Netflix or hanging out or something like that. But 3 a.m. was the point that I go to bed every single day. And it's hard for me to think about at this point, but it is what it is. So at the point where I started deciding to make healthier habits and to go into changes that were gonna help me live an overall healthier lifestyle, what I did was set a bedtime for myself that was 10 p.m. So every single night, 10 p.m. was the time that I go to bed, whether I was tired or not. And guys, you may not know it, but your body adapts fairly easy to anything you do to it. So after probably like a month or 2 months, I don't know, it's been some years since then. But after a while, I started to get tired around 9 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. sometimes. And since then, I go to bed early just about every night. I mean, unless I'm doing something that keeps me up, I like to go to bed early. I go to bed at 8 p.m. if I could, every single night. But life, it is what it is. But going to bed early definitely helps me feel a lot better. A lot of times you don't know that you feel terrible until you start to do things that make yourself feel good, and then you have something to compare it to. But going to bed early, I'm such a morning person and always have been. So when I was going to bed really late, it didn't change the fact that I was still gonna naturally wake up earlier. So I wake up around 4 a.m. every morning, and that's without an alarm. So sometimes I go back to sleep, sometimes it's like 5 a.m., depends. But I do wake up fairly early, and I love to get up and go ahead and start my day. And going to bed early definitely helps me keep that process going. It helps my body's clock maintain itself. And has a bunch of other side effects, I guess, with going to bed early, such as, being able to lose weight easier, your hormone balance, things like that. So going to bed early definitely changed my life for the better. All right, number 2, do not drink your calories. Stop drinking your calories. Guys, it's fine every now and then to drink some calories, but water should be what you are primarily drinking. If you are doing things like tracking your calories, then you probably have noticed that a drink can be 200 to 300 calories easy. And that's like a fruit juice or something, or a soda. A drink can literally be like a snack in terms of calories. And it's so wild, but we don't realize how much we actually intake just by not drinking water. So of course there's like 0-calorie drinks, low-calorie drinks, drinks with aspartame, other artificial sweeteners, and that's all well and good if you're just focused on calories, but when you're looking at the stuff that's gonna go towards your overall caloric intake for the day, you don't want like 50% of it to be drinks. So we don't keep drinks in the house other than water, really, unless we just want something specific. That'll be the time that you buy that drink, or if you're going out to eat, if you don't eat out that often, then getting a different drink while you're out is cool. But water it's just easy to keep water as the primary drink. That way you avoid a lot of like empty calories, because 9 times out of 10, when you just drink something, you're not going to be satisfied and full. You're going to want a drink as well as food. So you're almost eating like a meal and a snack when you do that, and your drinks, however many calories. And then we're not even gonna get into like milkshakes and like other thicker drinks and more ingredient dense drinks, because that gets into crazy stuff like 800, thousands of calories and stuff like that. But don't drink your calories. It is a game changer, and water as your primary drink will overall just help you feel better. And you guys can Google the benefits of water, because I'm sure you know. Okay, number 3, staying on top of water retention. Staying on top of water retention is something that I don't hear people talk about too often, but it's something that definitely changed my life and something that I definitely pay attention to all the time. So I retain water fairly easily. I can eat something a little too salty and be up 2 to 3 pounds on the scale the next day. Let alone if I eat salty things a few days in a row, or I'm kind of having just like a few days where I'm having like a free-for-all, I can put on a few pounds of literal water weight in just a few days. I didn't know much about water retention before I, made like a huge lifestyle change years ago, but it's something that after you notice it and after you learn about it, it's something that is kind of hard to forget about because you can start to feel it a lot easier. So when I'm not retaining a lot of water, I feel lean, I feel light, I feel super, just energetic. And versus when I am retaining a lot of water, I feel heavy, I feel bloated. I notice that my stomach maybe doesn't look the same, even my face, like I'll notice it in my cheeks. I have big cheeks anyway, but if I'm retaining water, it's definitely more prominent. So eating a lot of foods with water in them, like fruits and vegetables, and then just drinking water in general will help to decrease water retention. And if you're someone that doesn't really have an issue with water retention, more power to you. You don't have to worry about this, whatever. But I do. So one of the main things that I like to do when I am noticing that I'm retaining more water is drinking water. And regardless of what you may think, drinking water is actually the key thing to get your body to let go of water. The way our bodies are designed, if your body, like I said earlier, your body adapts easily to things you do to it. So if your body's like, hey, we haven't had water in a while, we don't know when the next time we're gonna get any is, then your body's gonna hold on to as much water as it can. As we know, our bodies are like a large percent of water. I can't give you the exact number right now, but I know it's really high. And so in order for your body to maintain that percentage that it needs to survive, it has to hold on to water if it's not getting it. And so when you drink water and intake water through foods that you eat and liquids, then your body's gonna say, okay, well, we can let go of a consistent amount of water since we're intaking a consistent amount. So number one thing I do when I notice that I'm retaining water is drink water and try to eat water-rich foods. And that helps a lot, and I can get more into that if you guys like in another video. Just comment below if you have any questions and I'd love to answer them. All right, number 4 is learn your sensitivities. I know there's all the gluten-free, keto, paleo, like all these different types of diets, and people, kind of hop on to them, and I don't blame people. A lot of stuff is trial and error, especially learning your body. Your body doesn't come with an instruction manual. You're not born with a manual that says, I like this, I don't like that, feed me this, don't feed me that, like I'll do well with this, I won't do well with that. I wish it did, but our bodies don't come with that. So a lot of these diets and like food trends that people try, I think is an attempt for them to try to learn what works best for their body, which I'm all for. Do what works for your body. However, everybody has totally different sensitivities, and what I mean by sensitivities is anything that makes your body feel different than its normal state, whether that be your skin, your digestion, your energy level. So for example, for me, grapes. I love grapes, particularly frozen grapes. I love to just buy a big bag of grapes, rinse them off, throw them in the freezer, and then eat them like whenever I want a snack. The thing is, I stopped eating grapes regularly probably a year before last, just because whenever I'd eat a lot of grapes, I'd notice that I wouldn't digest them that well. I wouldn't feel sick, and I wouldn't, have like stomach issues, but literally they just wouldn't go down as easily as I thought they should, as easily as other foods do. So this is something that I thought was completely normal, and I just didn't pay any attention to it for years. And finally I was like, you know what, like it's not actually that enjoyable to eat the grapes when they're not going down as easy as I think they should. So me paying attention to my sensitivities and to my body and listening to what my body's telling me, I'm like, hey, maybe I shouldn't be eating these regularly because it's either something up with the grapes or my body just doesn't agree with them. Maybe my body doesn't want grapes like that. So I can eat them in small amounts, but that's something that I just choose to stay away from on a regular basis. Also onions. I love onions and I eat onions regularly. However, I do notice that if I eat a dish that's heavy in onions, sometimes, not all the time, so I don't know the specific amount that my body can handle, but sometimes I'll notice that I'm a little bit bloated the next day, and it's not anything that's super uncomfortable or anything alarming, but it's just something I've noticed. So then again, onions might not be something that agree with my body that well. My body might not digest onions the way that someone else's body does. So that's something that I need to take note of, and then, you know, change things accordingly, and maybe cut back on the amount of onions I take in, cut back on either cooked or raw onions, and just pay attention. The biggest way, I guess the main way that you can learn your sensitivities is just by process of elimination. So when you're making a lifestyle change and you're starting to eat healthier and live healthier, one of the things that you want to do is just, obviously you're cutting back on non-healthy foods or foods that you don't think are the best for your body. But, you know, if you're starting to notice, okay, like today I felt light and lean and just energetic. Okay, what did I eat yesterday? Remember that. If you wake up the next morning, if you wake up another morning and you're like, I feel kind of heavy this morning, like my face is a little puffy, you know, maybe I feel like I just didn't get great sleep, like my stomach's a little bloated, think about what you ate the day before and then try to eliminate things that maybe you don't agree with. You can reintroduce things later because that's how you're gonna know that it's that specific food or drink, but process of elimination is definitely gonna help you learn your sensitivities, which overall is gonna help you feel better and help you live a lifestyle that you want to. And your body will definitely thank you for it, for sure. All right, last thing is something that I have addressed in maybe one of my first videos, but tracking your intake. So tracking my intake is not something that I do consistently. I'll be the first one to say that. However, when I was making a huge lifestyle change a couple years ago, I tracked like a maniac. I tracked everything every day, did not miss a day. And I did it for, I don't know how long. It was definitely probably close to a year, but I tracked everything. And once you track so much, you will start to remember and learn like how many calories are in this, or like how many macros, like what macros are in this, like what, you know, percentage of my macros is this food gonna, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, tracking your intake is key because helps you're gonna learn healthy eating habits, helps you're gonna learn, you know, how much of something is too much of something for you. So tracking is definitely used as a tool. It's not something that you should obsess over. I definitely have been at a point in life where I obsessed over tracking, and now I do a lot more of like listening to my body and kind of going with what my body's telling me to go with. So if I'm feeling dehydrated, I drink more water. If I feel like I need to eat something that's full of water, you know, maybe I'll throw some cucumber or some fruits and vegetables in. And I'm not necessarily saying, oh, I hit my calorie intake for the day, I can't eat any more spinach, I can't eat any more fruit because it's gonna throw me over my calories. By all means, if you're being really strict for a particular purpose, stay strict and stay doing what you need to do. I am not like a nutritionist or anything, but I do what feels right for my body. If I'm getting really bloated and just not feeling great, I stop eating things that aren't making me feel great, you know, regardless of how many calories they fell into for the day. But yeah, definitely, if you feel like your body needs something, go for it. If you feel like it doesn't need something, stay away from it. But overall, just track your intake so you can start to get an idea of like patterns and trends that you should be following in order to feel your best. So guys, that's gonna wrap it up. So that was 5 healthy habits that have changed my life and that I still pay a lot of attention to till this day. A lot of these changes I made over 7-8 years ago, so that's telling you something. Any questions you guys have, please leave them in the comments below. Like this video, share it, and subscribe to my channel for more content. Check out some of my other videos. Please just go to my channel and kind of scroll through and, you know, binge watch those videos if you'd like. I enjoy the support, I appreciate the support, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.